Hey guys, do you want to not be a burden to your family? Well, listen to this coaching that I gave to a person who is a grandma, and I helped her connect with her sister and be a better grandma just by changing the way she thinks about being a burden. So she didn't want to go visit her sister because she didn't want to be a burden to her. And even though her sister kept inviting her and telling her it's fine, you should come, like, when are you coming? That person didn't want to go. She said that I don't want to be a burden. She always does so much for me and she goes out of her way. And I see how much she does for me and I just don't want to be a burden. And after listening to her for a while, I realized that the way she thinks about a burden is not in a good way. She thinks being a burden is not good. So of course, therefore, she does not want to be a burden. But then I helped her see that the way she's showing up for her kids and her grandkids is actually her honoring her kids as a burden. For example, her kids and her grandkids live far away across the country, many hours flight away, yet she still goes to see her kids as much as she can. She still goes to see her grandkids, and having to spend that money on the flights in a way can be seen as a burden, right? Especially if you have a limited amount of money and you get to choose, do I go on vacation or do I go see my kids and grandkids? So I said, do your kids appreciate you coming to see them and the grandkids? She said, yes. And I said, well, that's a burden, right? Do you see that? And she really agreed. She said, yeah, you're right. That is a burden, but it feels good to honor that burden. Like, to her, her kids living far away and her having to go see them can be seen as a burden, but it makes her feel good to take care of that, take that burden on, because that means she has family, she has kids, she has grandkids. And so as soon as she changed the way she thought about a burden, she realized that maybe she can enjoy being a burden to her sister, to her family member. And that not only she could then go see her sister, visit her family, but she also decided to take on more burden on herself by inviting and taking care of her grandkids during summer to help her kids, which is a lot of work for her, but she's happy to do that. She's happy to be that helper, to take that burden on, right? So the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because sometimes we don't need to change our thinking. You know how I'm always saying you can change your thoughts, you can change your thinking, but sometimes it's really helpful to decide, okay, you know what? I get to keep my thinking, but I get to decide that it's going to mean something different. So, like, she thought the burden was bad. Now she sees it from a different angle, like, oh, having a family burden means I have a family. That's great. All families come with some sort of burden, right? The other thing for me, for me as well, but for other people with fasting, hunger can be seen as a burden, right? Or hunger can be seen as a problem. And a lot of people don't want to do intermittent fasting because they don't want to be hungry. Well, as you learn about intermittent fasting, you learn that hunger is a great thing, is the way our body is designed to signal to us that we need food. But also, if we don't eat at that moment, our body learns to access our stored energy, our fat. So that can be a wonderful thing. So now every time I get hungry, and if it's early in the morning, which actually doesn't happen anymore at all, maybe sometimes midday, I think, okay, great. My body is going to go get some fat from the freezer, from my butt, from my stomach. So again, I didn't have to change the fact that I'm hungry, and I might have thoughts like, oh my gosh, I'm hungry. But then I changed what they made it mean. It means that I am accessing my fat stores. It's great. Burn, baby, burn. So what thoughts can you keep but change what they make it mean? And how can you make it useful for yourself? Like recording this podcast and being, nervous and putting myself out there, I can make it mean that, oh my gosh, I shouldn't be doing it, but I can make it mean that this is just the price you have to pay for putting yourself out there. So there's tons of examples I can come up with, but what is your example? What can you keep thinking, but make it mean something more useful for yourself? All right, guys, come hang out with me on YouTube. I post these videos in my beautiful car here for all of you to see, and come visit me there. Leave me some questions, some comments. I would love to know what you think. Hope this was helpful. Have a great day, and I love you soon. And I'll love you, and I'll see you soon.